Hi! Thank you very much for tuning back in. My name is Fonny. In my channel, I talk about my houseplant and my Hoyas. Today, it is another episode of Hoya Bloom series. It is a Hoya that I have featured it many times. I also featured it in the Hoya Most Difficult Index, and it turned out to be not so difficult, even though at that time it was in the 9th rank, which is relatively easier. A lot of people say that it's difficult, but for me, I think I'm just lucky enough to put it in the right place that it has never stopped growing. Well, which one is that? That is Hoya Serpens. Before I go into the detail of the flowering information, for Hoya Serpens, in the beginning, for me, I thought it's difficult because everybody said that it's difficult. A lot of people have problem giving the right condition. So in this video, I'm also going to share the care tips that I have. But I do think it is quite difficult to bloom the first time. I think as long as you bloom the first time, it will continuously pushing out new buds that is actually maturable. So this is a very similar flower to Hoya Untitled. I will show you some close-up later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. All right, without too much of the information, let's dig in. First part, how long does it take to grow the first peduncle? Now, Hoya Serpens, for me, is not a very difficult Hoya to keep, but it is a very difficult Hoya to have maturable peduncle. I spotted peduncle ever since I bought it. I bought it in October. No, I bought it in August last year, 2021. And within the first or second month, I already see new peduncle pushed out. So it's never an issue for me to provide condition that it can produce peduncle. But the problem that I had is it is impossible for me to grow from a tiny peduncle all the way to a mature peduncle that actually opened flower. It always dried up after it become maybe like 2 millimeter for each bud on the tip. It never grew past that. It never grew past that size. And I would say it's all the way until a month ago, which is around July, at the beginning of July. I see one particular bud that has grown, say, 4 centimeters. And I was like, 4 millimeter. I was like, maybe this could be my shot having a flower for Hoya Serpens. So then I just keep doing what I did. I just keep putting it the way that is placed. I keep watering the way that I do. Basically, I don't do anything differently. So then I don't make it really shocked because I just care for it more. So then after 4 weeks, then you see it now. So in conclusion, it took me almost 11 months to have a peduncle that managed to grow into a mature size, and then it flowered. But if you ask the question, when is the first time it produced peduncle, I would say just within a month it pushed out a peduncle. But those peduncle never managed to go all the way as a flower. Then we move on to the peduncle formation. The entire process, I would say, it's around 1.5 months. It is very similar to the growth pattern of Hoya Untitled. Hoya Untitled is also difficult for me to grow from buds all the way to a mature bud that can open up. So maybe that's the reason. And in my video, you can check that out as well, the Hoya Untitled Bloom series. That one, I shared the tip that I probably think is because of the humidity. And I think for Hoya Serpens that I'm showing you right now, potentially could also be like that, because in the past month, I would say, or past 2 weeks, it's very, very humid. It's between 60 to 77% of humidity, even in my room environment. So that probably is a booster for the Hoya to continue grow the peduncle. So here you see the first week, it is a very, very tiny dot. It's super short peduncle. It grows like maybe just this tiny much. And then it just grows bigger and bigger by week. And then in the second week, you can see it grows a little bit more. So then you can see tiny little dot of the bud on the tip of the peduncle. And this is what I said about it never go past this point. This is the point when I see the biggest size of the bud on the tip of the peduncle. And then the third week, it grows so much more, as you can see in this video. You see that the size of the bud is like 4 millimeter, each of the bud. And then after this, it just suddenly go full speed growth. During the third to the fourth week, it grow from maybe 4 millimeter all the way to like double the size. It's almost like 1 centimeter for each flower. And if you imagine the size of Hoya serpens is really small in the foliage, and one single flower is actually the same size, if not bigger, than the foliage itself. It's pretty special, I would say. And in the fourth and a half week, you then can see the bud grows really much like a star shape. It is extremely similar to Hoya methyld, but in a way that the color, it's darker. So yeah, let's move on to the third part. Let's take a look at a close-up of the flower shape. You can see in this video, on the 4.5 week, it finally opened up. You can see the flower shape of Hoya serpens is very similar to Hoya methyld. If you look into the corona, it has that kind of star shape. It is creamy white, star shape having 5 pointy parts. And then for the corolla, it is also very fuzzy, as you can see on the side. The fuzz is so much that you can almost see hair on the corolla. And with regard to the floral scent, fortunately, this one doesn't smell too much like Hoya methyld. It has a floral scent, but it smells very, very mild. And at the same time, it does have that kind of smell that could assemble with Hoya methyld in my in my specimen, but I think it's not very, very strong. It's very mild. So it is such a nice, cute little plant. Obviously, as you can see, the leaves are super tiny. And one flower is actually bigger than one size of the size of one leaf. And you can't even say for the entire umbel. If you take a look at the comparison of my hand, the umbel is very large. It's just much bigger than the single leaves. Looks really nice. I am so happy to be able to show you 2 flowers side by side. On the left-hand side is Hoya serpens, on the right-hand side is Hoya methyld. Now you can see how similar yet different both of them are. For Hoya serpens, it is much more green in the coloration in the corolla, but with regard to the corolla color of methyld, it is much more white and creamy, I would say. But both of them share very similar nature of the corolla, slightly fuzzy and with a star shape. And also the corona is very similar as well. It has this star shape like, and also creamy corona. But at the center it is pink. I would say it's more yellow in the center for serpens. It could be because it just flowered today and the pollen are still quite sufficient. That's why in the middle part it is much more yellow than the one to the right hand side, the methyld that has opened up for around 4 to 5 days. But it is such a gem for me to show you this close-up. Both of them are just precious, so beautiful. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this close-up and also the sharing of the scent of this Hoya. So then we can move on to the another part, the flowering duration. Today is the first day this flower has opened. I will leave a comment here to let you know how long the flower lasted for. And let's move on to this another part, the Peduncle Nature. This is also a rebuddable peduncle, which means that the same peduncle can be rebud again and again. So if you manage to have a peduncle in Hoya serpens, don't give up. I never really give up because I don't have anything to give up for. I just keep caring for it, and then just be patient, and then eventually that same peduncle will grow new buds that it will be able to mature itself. So yeah, I'm really happy that that's my observation. After a long wait, 11 months, I can see this flower in real life. All right, last part, and I guess a lot of you are waiting for this part, the care tip. Surprisingly, it's nothing really special. I kept it in my room environment. It has never been in a greenhouse, never been in a Ziploc bag. It has only been in my room environment, right next to my south-facing window. One thing that I think this is a different one is it always needs to be moist in the soil substrate. It absorbs water very quickly. It is really relatively large plant, as you can see in my specimen. I had it in a self-watering pot, and I water it every 7 to 9 days. And most of the time the water reservoir just completely emptied out. So I think it is quite a thirsty Hoya. Just remember, always keep it moist in the soil substrate. Otherwise the leaf will wrinkle, and when it reached that part, the plant could be too stressed out, and it may be not rethrivable when it reached that really wrinkly situation. And with regard to the humidity, I never really keep it in any specific environment. As I mentioned, is between 25 to 39% now in summertime without any humidity. Humidifier. I didn't even put in the humidifier next to it anymore because I'm kind of lazy. So I didn't really recharge my USB humidifier. I just kept it there. But it's pretty happy when it comes to the growth speed. And with regard to the temperature, it's between 16 at some colder nights during summertime to 31, I would say, in my room environment. Nothing really disturb it. It just keep growing so much. Yeah, that's it. Well, this is everything I know about Hoya serpens. If you have any specific question with regard to the care tip, please leave a comment down below and then we can discuss further. And I could maybe try to understand your condition and then I can think about what I would do. Obviously, I'm no expert on this one. I only own this plant for a year. So I will share everything that I know with you. Yeah, let me know in the comment down below. And if you have any recommendation for me to keep Hoya serpens, or for others to know about your care tips of Hoya serpens, please also leave a comment down below so we all can learn from each other. Well, if you actually managed to watch until now and you like this content, please be generous enough to hit that like button and share this video with your friends. And if you have not already, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out next time when I posted similar content. Until next time, I wish everyone is having a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!